remember that day. I never forgot it. That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Where were you born?
I don't know. I never knew a mother nor a father.
You will be my instrument.
Who are you?
Did you hear that crowd? The greatest temple Rome ever built. The Colosseum. Because this is what they believe in. Power.
General Acacius, there are victories yet still to come.
Rome has so many subjects. She must feed them.
They can eat war.
The arena turns slaves into gladiators, the gladiators into free men.
You have something in you. I knew it from the start.
Did you now?
Rage. That rage is your gift.
This is about survival! Survive! Hold together, and when the charges break for the wall.
Whose head could I give you that would satisfy this fury?
The entire Roman armies.
Too much.
The general will do.
Rome must fall. I need to only give it a push.
We make it out alive. Alright. Hands on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum doors.
This ring belonged to Maximus. Now I give it to you. What is the dream of Rome?
Blood stains.
Her people are not free.
I was owned. Now I will control an empire.
I will not waste another generation of young men for their vanity.
Strength among us! This how Rome treats its heroes!
Hands on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum doors. The gods have spoken!
You are now listening to the Real Table Podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to the Real Table Podcast with your host, Michael Carter. It is great, as always, to be back. If you haven't listened, I'm going to plug it already. If you haven't listened to the Wicked episode, go back, listen to the Wicked episode. It's a good episode. I did it with my wife, and it was amazing, and it was fun. And as always, we're going to do more episodes with her in the near future. But yeah, go back to listen to that. Go back to even listen to the Gladiator podcast that we did. The first Gladiator. Jared was on there. Jared's on this episode. But Jared's on there, and Brian is also on there, and it's a good episode. But today, we're going to talk about Gladiator II, one of the most anticipated movies of the year. I got a chance to go see it early. Jared, who's on here, got a chance to go see it early. And my dear friend Alyssa, who's on the podcast, had a chance to go see it early. And Alyssa has not been on the podcast in some time. Alyssa, what's up, bro?
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. This is the first, I can't remember a week where I've seen two big blockbusters back to back before they came out. And I feel like I'm living on a beautiful cloud because now I get to watch as people get to experience Wicked and get to see some reactions. And then I get to watch people experience Gladiator and see some reactions. So I'm like, I'm doing so well.
You're in the know, man.
Dude,
You're living.
I'm living. This
And it
feels
was
so
free.
good. And it was free.
Yeah.
Until
Love
I go
free.
back to the theater to go pay to see Wicked again.
Yeah.
That's a
I
shame.
just bought my Wicked ticket, so I'm like,
Oh,
and
for
then,
when?
tomorrow at 2:20.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The phone will be on. The notifications will be
I'm
on.
excited. I was
And
gonna go to the 2 o'clock, but that one kind of filled up, and I was like, I don't want to be around all these people
yeah, for sure.
because I want to hear the actors and not the audience.
Right. They
Yeah.
actually just announced that they're doing a sing-along.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
gosh.
saw for Christmas.
Yeah, it comes out on Christmas.
It's kind of, I think it's kind of genius.
It is. It's so smart because you're going to get
Oh
people,
my gosh.
let's see it again and let's actually be able to
Right.
sing along to, the lyrics and stuff. But I'm like, nah, I just want to
It's
go
like
back.
it's like 3 hours if you have kids, 3
Yeah.
hours where
Mhm.
you don't
Literally.
have to entertain them.
Right.
That's a good point.
How's life for you? Anything new?
Life's good. Yeah, I'm just chilling. I just got back from like a big trip. I solo tripped a little bit, and then
You are always traveling.
I am, yeah. I live with my parents, so I have to like get away.
Right. For
Yeah.
sure.
There you go.
For sure. Where'd you go? Real quick. Where'd you go?
This one I did mostly London, a little
Oh.
York. Yeah, and then I went to Rome for a couple of days. So
Oh.
like I was like watching
Perfect timing.
like I was watching Gladiator with my dad, and I was like, I was just there, Dad, and he was like, yeah,
Did you see the Coliseum?
yeah, I did.
Oh,
It
it's on my bucket list.
was quite fun. Yeah,
See, that's incredible.
it was good times. And yeah, I've been watching a lot of movies this week. I watched Challengers.
For the first time?
And no, I like rewatched it. It's
Oh,
like
rewatched
one of my
it.
favorites for the year. And then I saw A Real Pain. So I
Okay.
had to see the hype. And that's like, it was really good. I enjoyed it. It's
For-
90 minutes, so it's like such a good quick film. Nice
Now
tight
for-
script.
Now, for people who don't know what Real Pain is, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's basically like these two cousins. Their grandma died, and she was Polish, and she was Jewish, and they basically go back to Poland to do this like tour, and it's just them for a few days. I think that's in the trailer, so that's not spoilery.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just them like doing life for a couple of days and like kind of like getting reacquainted with each other.
Yeah.
And it was really good. So
Nice. Who's all in
I
that?
see the hype. Kieran Culkin, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's right.
From Succession, he's always like quite good.
Mm.
And then Jesse, I don't know his last name, but
Yeah.
he's good.
Nice.
Yeah, he also
Awesome.
wrote and directed it, which I thought was quite
Jesse?
good. Yeah.
Oh wow! Is this his
Yeah.
debut? Do you know if his debut?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
I
That's
thought he
dope.
did like a really good job with like the swings of the film because I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people would have handled it as well as he did actually. So
Right.
it was quite
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right. A Real Pain. I'm about to check that out. Have to check that out. All right. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Gladiator II. Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal. Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
You gotta like break it up and put a name in the middle.
I have to break it because I'm like, wait a second. Am I saying that wrong? No, that's right. Denzel Washington, Joseph Quinn. I think that's about.
Yep.
There's some other names in there, but
Connie Neilsen.
yeah, Connie Neilsen,
Reprising.
Gladiator. Yeah. Let's since we were just on you, you saw it in Cleveland. You're streaming us from all the way in Cleveland. What are your initial reactions out of Gladiator 2?
So glad like the first Gladiator is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Just because my mom loved it. So I just remember like watching it like growing up. Like parts, like bits and pieces. So I was like really looking forward to this. And it kind of gave me everything I wanted it to give. So I'm not disappointed. But the movie kind of went in directions that I wasn't expecting. So I was locked in.
Yeah.
Like the whole time. I liked it. And I love crafts when it comes to movies, so I was just Ridley's always gonna give you good craftsmanship, even if the movie's not good. But
Right.
in this case the movie was also good. So
Yeah. All right, Jared.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid film. I agree. It did everything that I needed it to. I think the tough part going into this film is, you're automatically kind of at a disadvantage with it because Gladiator is Gladiator, right? It's such a good film. It's a classic film. In a lot of cases similar to Alyssa. It's a lot of people's favorite movie of all time. So it's like, going in, you can't beat that, right? And it didn't beat that. But I think Ridley did a really good job on this one. Visually, it was breathtaking, as always. And again, Ridley's always good with that. He's always good with building the world in his films. So I think, a lot of times when I go into Ridley movie, I'm going for that. And I know that that's going to at least give me an enjoyable watch, as just seeing the breathtaking dynamics of the film and everything. I think what we need to talk about this film is Denzel kind of carried. He kind of carried in acting. And the thing with it is he was awesome, right? He was awesome. I felt, and I wish they kind of give Pedro a little bit more here. We can talk about that too, but his character a little bit more. I feel like they needed one more big actor in here to match with Denzel. That's like, I was thinking about it on my drive back, and I'm like, man, this is a really good film. To make this film even better, like to kind of put it up even higher, give us one more actor in there that can match Denzel. Or, in my opinion, they should have given maybe Pedro a little bit more stuff to do. Then that, I think, would have elevated it. That's just my view. Because you look at all the actors, and you've got, like, Pedro's really good, and Paul Mescal is really, really good, but then you've got Denzel, and he's an outlier in terms of an actor in there. So, like, give me one more person. I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion. I could see it debated, though.
No, I agree with you, because when you were like starting off that point, I was like, yeah, if they just gave like Pedro a little bit more to do, I think it would have like carried it a little bit more. Because I also just really loved his character. I think
I did too.
He might have been like my favorite character to root for.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yes, yeah, because I liked his personality and like his motivations and everything.
Yeah.
And like the complexity that he sort of added, but I feel like there was definitely room for more there. But
Yeah, no, I agree with all y'all, with everything y'all said. I quite enjoyed it too. Very big, like it was a spectacle. Solid acting. I don't think there was anybody that really acted poorly in it. Like, if anything, it was just solid acting. But yeah, Denzel definitely carried the movie. I also didn't feel like the movie, it was good for a while, but it really, when Denzel starts going, I won't spoil yet, so because people haven't seen it, but when he starts going, that's when I'm like, oh, I'm like, all right, the movie's getting me now. I'm like, I'm locked in. Where we going?
I was so locked in. It like it wasn't even funny.
And it moves it
was
moves.
like, ooh. I like the pacing. The pacing was like pretty good with this.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, it was, because you were never like, oh, we're still here. Like, what are we doing? It's like, this is going and this is going and this is going. Like, you're kind of like moving along, and you're kind of just like, holy crap! Like, I cannot believe, like, and then there's like this one part when it's a little hard to like, not like keep up, but you're just like, whoa, like, we're just going for it. But it was still so good. Like, that last like 90 minutes, crazy. Because he like sets it up and then he just goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last 90 minutes is crazy. It's crazy. It threw me for a curveball too a little bit, because I thought originally, I mean, it is in the trailers. I think I just overthink things when I'm watching films sometimes. Like, at first, Denzel doesn't really come into his character until later on. Like, from the trailers, I'm like, you initially go, he's playing a villain, but it doesn't seem to start that way, and he doesn't come into his character until later on. And I was like, oh, so I was right. I think I kind of tricked myself just a little bit.
Ridley did a good job of that in the film.
Yeah.
You remember Proximus from the first film?
Yes.
Denzel plays that role. It's he's the kind of gladiator handler,
right?
And then he ends up. At first, you think in the first film, you think Proximus is a bad dude, right?
Right.
He's this gladiator handler. He doesn't care about lives and everything. And then he ends up sacrificing himself for Maximus. And so I think Ridley kind of shielded the villainous nature of Denzel in that type of role. So people were kind of like putting Denzel in that camp. Like, okay, he's going to be like this anti-hero kind of guy.
Yeah.
But again, not spoiling anything, but
yeah, and he's just like so cool.
Yeah.
And the trailers that you're like, you don't even clock it. Like, I was just like, wow, this is gonna be so fun. Like, he's playing like a charismatic guy, and he's like, he kept this accent, and I was like, this is just gonna be a blast. And then you're like in the movie, and you're like, wow, this is a blast. And then when he like you know, like at that one point, and you start going, and you're just like, whoa.
Like, oh,
and
he's got an agenda.
I was like, he's getting like a serious arc here that I just like wasn't anticipating.
Yeah.
So I was just like very pleasantly surprised, but I was like, yeah, like he's taking it. Like it was crazy. I was so here for it though.
Now, do we see some awards nods for Denzel in this?
I think so.
Was it good enough?
Because that's like,
I'm on the fence.
Definitely not BAFTA because they're like, you know, they're racist, but but like they like refuse to nominate the guy. But I think so. I think that category is pretty wide open, and like it's just Denzel. He's pretty loved, and he also had more to do here than I thought he was gonna get. But even before I saw this, I thought he was just gonna get nominated everywhere except for the BAFTAs. But now I'm like, he's for sure getting nominated. So
You think best actor or best supporting?
I think supporting.
Yeah, easily supporting. I don't think they would.
Okay.
It all obviously it depends on how they campaign him, but they would.
I think they said he was supporting.
Okay, they'd be idiots to do best
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah, in that category, I think. Yeah, I think initially I was like best actor and on the fence, but I could see best supporting for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on Gold Derby right now, just trying to see like where.
Yeah,
he's
I'm looking
at.
up the FYC real quick.
Okay, for people who don't know, Gold Derby is basically an odd site, and that's where a lot of like for like award stuff, Oscars, Grammys.
I'll tell you what,
SAG
though.
Awards, Critics' Choice Awards, all that stuff is listed on there. So when I say Gold Derby, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Is Austin Butler up there? Because she should be in the running for best supporting actor, in my opinion, from Dune.
Oh, do you mean Joseph Quinn?
No, I'm just talking about a different movie. Austin Butler from Dune.
Okay, right
oh, wait,
now,
Dune. Yeah.
he's pretty low.
Is he? Ugh.
The odds right now, I think.
Austin Butler?
Yeah. I think he's going to have to really go campaign for it because it's been a while. I think he's just going to have to go and.
Yeah.
Because I think he should be nominated. I really do. But I think he's going to have to go. Denzel's number 3 odds wise right now. So that'll be interesting to see.
It's kind of wide open though. I think the only one is like would be Denzel.
Yeah. I mean, I heard Clarence Macklin and
He's so good.
Okay, you saw Sing Sing.
I saw Sing Sing. Oh, I have the funniest story. So I saw Sing Sing before a meeting. So I like saw the movie, rushed home, had a meeting, and we were like, I like couldn't stop thinking about the movie, and we were like introducing ourselves, and I like straight up forgot my job title because I just like could not stop thinking about. I think I was just like, wow, Clarence is so good. Yeah, because for me, he was better than Coleman.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to go when it goes back in theaters in January. I'm gonna have to go.
I literally am so excited.
I'm glad they're re-releasing it.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I think. What do we think this deserves any more awards? Obviously, we see Denzel. I don't think Best Actor. I don't.
Maybe
think
a couple
Best Picture.
For sure, like production design was insane. I think it's got like they built Rome.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen like the behind the scenes videos, but like the set is crazy in those videos.
Didn't
they literally built the Colosseum.
Didn't you go to an exhibit?
I did. Yeah.
Tell us about that exhibit.
I went to a Gladiators exhibit.
Oh wow.
Quebec. Yeah, I went in July. The Museum of like Civilization or something. But it was so cool. And apparently they actually did like flood the Colosseum for stuff. So like that was like historically accurate.
Yeah, they could do that.
Nuts. Yeah, just
That's
like
historical.
up the sharks. Yeah.
They had naval battles.
Yeah. Wow. So I thought like all that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exhibit was quite cool. It was about like living as a gladiator and like how it all started. But yeah, seeing that got me like even more hyped for the movie because I was like, I can't believe like they actually flooded the Coliseum. But then they actually flooded the Coliseum for the movie. Like
that might have been the coolest scene. I don't know.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That was a really cool scene.
Their shit like sweet for production design because I just thought it was crazy.
It was nuts. It really was.
It was like shot properly, so like you could really appreciate it. And I just like I'm like obsessed with its production design. I've been obsessed with it. I really like production design. So I've like ever since they dropped the trailer, I just feel like, wow, this is insane. And then in all the behind the scenes videos, I'm just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to get my hands on a behind the scenes like a DVD or some
of all the features.
Yeah, features for this film.
Special features. I didn't hear special features in a long time.
Hey, that is you
that's
need
a relic. Relic word. Keep it alive. Special features.
That's what I'm here for, Mike. That's what I'm here for.
I just kind of need to hear like the director's commentary during the like big sequences.
Yes,
Ridley's like known for those.
Like, what was he thinking? Like, how did he, all
no,
that? Yeah.
Seriously, it's like organized chaos. Like, I need to know. But I also just like, it was just so cool seeing like those big set pieces on like that big set. Cause like, it was nuts. I would never get over that production design. That was pretty crazy.
Can I tell you guys my least favorite part of the film?
Is it how big of a spoiler is it?
No, it's not a big spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all. It's not really a spoiler at all. I didn't really like the emperors, the twin emperors.
Oh, I didn't really like them that. And I liked them, but they were like the weakest part of the film.
They were the weakest part of the film because they had no weight to them. Like I needed more story and context with them. They just, to me, just seemed like a plot device for Denzel to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
That might be a slight, but
yeah.
That's just
I wish they were like a little scarier. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they were just kind of very
they were just
stereotypical, crazy people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially after like the last, like in the first film, like you're just like genuinely like a little. You're just like, oh my god, like what is he gonna do? But you don't get that with these guys.
No,
you're just like you kind of know what they're gonna do because of like how they are established.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not like, oh, what's he gonna do? You're just like, oh. You're not even like, oh, you're just like,
Commodus' character, Commodus had depth, right? So like these are they're similar to Commodus. Commodus had depth to him. He had reasons. He had an arc. These guys,
he's a weirdo. He was like a better weirdo.
A better weirdo, right?
Yeah, because they're all weirdos, but he was like a much
interesting weirdo.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest gripe with the film was I thought they needed to do Ridley should have done more work on them too, or not had them at all, or you had just one. I don't know, but I think they could have gone a different route. Those guys.
Yep, I think having them have some kind of story as well too. Like you said, they didn't have any depth to. I think that I was waiting for that because you were waiting to figure out, how did homie get where he was? Like, how was he away from, all that stuff? Like, you were waiting, we were waiting for that, and we got that, but we didn't get anything on it. It was just like, we're not gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Like, when Maximus died,
I have assumptions, but
right. We can only assume, but yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I don't want to spoil.
Also, like young, so you're just like, how did they even get,
Right.
I feel like there was some exposition that was skipped with establishing like where this empire was like at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
But besides that, it was a good fun time.
Yeah, it was a good fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who want to go see it, go see it. It's a good fun time. It's a good blockbuster, old fashioned blockbuster. I tell you that.
I also thought the sound was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sound really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the opening scene was awesome.
Oh,
that opening scene was so epic. I was just like, this is too good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It was giving me like Battle of Troy vibes. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Troy, where like it was the same kind of picture where the pictures the boats in the sea are coming up to the wall. It was very similar to that battle sequence.
Yeah.
I love that shot. So
I love that.
Also, like the makeup and hair was good. I thought honestly all the techs were good, like sound, production design, sound.
Oh yeah, they
did not have a good enough seat to like look at cinematography. I'm like obsessed with cinematography though, so I like really need to go back and see it.
I thought it was pretty good. Cinematography was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I thought it was pretty good, but I was also just like, this is not a good angle. You know?
Looking.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought all the like non-animal VFX was also good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this could get like a decent amount of names.
I think it could too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think it deserves that hair and makeup because everyone in this film has like never looked better. I thought that like
each moment.
literally everyone looked so good. I like texted my friend. I was like, I never really got the Pedro hype before, but like he looks so good in Gladiator.
He does.
I was like, I get it.
He's a handsome man. He's a handsome man.
Very pristine.
Yeah.
So give me more of him. I'm sorry, I wanted more of him in this film.
I would watch an entire movie just about him. Like,
so you're like in love with Pedro Pascal?
Oh, I'm not. I just like his character. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
you talking about his character?
No, yeah, his character.
I was thinking you talking about him, and I was like, oh, you're in love with him.
A little bit of both, maybe.
No. I would watch like I think like I'm so curious to know like how his character got to where he was at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
His like a little like soldier's tale. I think that could be like so good.
Again, more context. More
Yeah.
context.
I think like one of the issues with the writing of this movie is like for me like Lucius was not the most interesting character. I think like for me he was like kind of like the vessel to tell this story, so you could see all these other characters. But like as a character, wasn't my favorite. Right. So I just thought like the other ones, the other characters were just like better written to me. So or just like more interesting. So that's like an issue I kind of have. So
yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I also think that they reused some plot devices. Like there were some plot devices that were the exact same as the first film. So I was like, we need to do a little bit of deviation here, a little bit.
I was like, it's the same, but I'm still eating it up.
Right,
I was
right.
Like, I was like, why am I eating this up? Like,
I'm like, when are we going to change the ship for a little bit?
Yeah,
and they did.
And then when they switched it up, they switched it up. Yeah.
I was about to say, when they switched it up, you're like,
there was one in particular, which I think you don't know which one I'm talking about, Mike. I won't spoil it, but that it was the exact same plot device. I'm like, we could have gone a different route here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Let's get into some spoilers. Let's just do it.
Hit the spoiler. Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, now would be the time to exit the podcast, and then you can come back later and hear the spoilers. But yeah, let's talk spoilers right now. So like, what was that scene?
Okay, the scene was when they were doing the escape. Where he was going to go to the Pedro and company. We're going to go get the troops, right? They were going to take Lucius out. Like that's it's the exact same.
Yep.
It's the first film.
Yep.
And then they get, some person hears it and goes and tells the emperors and they figure it out, you know what I mean? And then they get caught and then they're getting, put up to the emperors saying, what the heck did you just do? And yeah, that was the exact same device.
I was watching the movie and I was like, I know they're not about to do what I think they're about to do. Like,
and they did it.
And they did it. And I was like, of course.
And the beginning was the exact same too, but I mean, I guess you kind of had to do that.
Yeah.
I was fine with that one, but that second one, I was like,
yeah. I feel like the movie sort of didn't like a lot of people. I saw a lot of people talking about this how it like doesn't have the same like emotional impact that the first one did.
Yeah.
And I like agree with that kind of like 100%.
Yeah.
Because the first one's just like it's like a revenge story, and everyone loves a revenge story, and like the emotion, like connected to everything that like the emotional aspect of like the whole story, like and how it intertwines, is just like much better than this one. Because I feel like this one doesn't really have like an emotional thing driving him.
Yeah, and I think
like it sort of does, but then they made Pedro too likable. I was like, you can't have his whole thing being like, I need to kill the general. Just for you to like the general a little bit more than him. I was like, this is not gonna work. But Yeah, I think that's like kind of like my big complaint because I was just like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
And
I was
that's
locked
why,
in, but not because of him.
and that's why like I respect this film a lot is that it didn't try to even though it was missing that emotional drive. I do think if they played a little bit too much into it, it probably would have felt too much like the first one, which isn't a bad thing, I guess. But I think I do respect, like, even with the some of the plot devices that were the same, like they still like really still deviated enough where it can
Yeah, for
separate
sure.
itself from the first one.
I feel like
But
with
yeah, I get that.
yeah, I feel like with this one though, to hit like the emotional notes of the film or like to create some more,
Yeah.
I feel like they could have had more scenes with Lucius and his mom because he only has those like two
Yeah.
scenes,
Yeah.
and he like yells at her, and then he's like, "Oh my God, mom," and and you're just like, okay. But I feel like if they like developed that a little bit more, I feel like I feel like that should have been the emotional piece of the film, and they just didn't do it. I feel like that was kind of like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because like
that's a good
watching the
point.
trailer, I think you're kind of like, oh my God, like he's back as a gladiator, like his
Right.
mom's still there, like what is she gonna do? Like what is he gonna do? And they like didn't really go into that, and I think that was kind of, now that I'm like talking about it, I think that's like kind of like my issue is they just like, because that would have developed Lucius a little bit more to make
Yeah.
him like, to make him more of like the lead and like focus it on him.
Yeah.
Because like the story doesn't really focus on him, even though it focuses on him, but it's not about him.
Right.
It's like happening around him, but not because of him.
Right. Yeah, just more background. Like, okay, why did she have to send Lucius away? Like, you know, I felt they just conquered, like they just defeated Commodus, but then she instantly has to take him away.
Yeah, that's
You know,
He was like the prince. And I was
I was confused on that. And my assumption is that the two twin emperors are products of Commodus doing like ancestral stuff with what's her name, Lucille. That's my assumption. Like that she, like twin emperors.
said they were like random people.
But how would they possibly?
That's what they feel like.
That's what it feels. But like they do have a line of dialogue about that in the film. Like when Denzel is with his wine talking with the other guy, he's talking about how Commodus had like feelings for his sister and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And timeline wise, that would make sense, but it wasn't alluded to in the first film. So I just can't possibly. That was what was in my brain afterwards. I was like, are they like Commodus's sons?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From him, like, you know, doing that with Lucille. I mean, it's really graphic, but I mean, it doesn't make nothing else makes sense to me in terms of how are they in power? Where do these two guys come from?
I just assumed like someone like, because I feel like I just assumed they like took power somehow. I just like did not go to that whole flag. So I was like, they obviously didn't have the army. So I was like, I don't know, like maybe their dad did or something, and then they just got the power like passed down. That's honestly where my head went. But that was kind of like just not
right.
Yeah.
Like I need that explanation. How did these two guys come to power? You know, because like they're like complete clowns in the film. So it's like, how did these two people
It's
come to
literally
power?
like they didn't do it. Yeah.
Other than bloodline.
Right.
That's where my because like I can't even fathom how they could come to power other than bloodline. So that's why my head goes there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah,
trying
need
to
more
think if
explanation on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I don't know.
My mind just went to like different people like taking over. Because I feel like when I was in Rome, I like saw something. They were just like, yeah, like no emperor lasts more than like 5 years in a certain period. So I just assumed
something like that.
Well, I was like, they definitely didn't take it, but I was like, maybe their dad did.
Yeah.
Or someone and like passed it to them. That's where my mind went.
What did y'all think about so when Denzel started going a little crazy?
Oh, dude.
When he takes homie's hand and helps him cut his brother's neck off. Oh my gosh.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was
Dude, you saw that turning moment for Denzel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's taking power.
He walks up
But it's
behind
like
him.
so good that you're like not shocked because it's like
No.
kind of there the whole time. I mean, he says it in like his first 10 minutes of screen time. He's like, I want to be powerful. So you're just like,
True.
it's not like shocking, but you're still like shocked.
Shocked. Yeah.
You know?
You're still like, what?
The one where Mike and I were laughing so much was when he was in that senator's home. And he was like, I own your home. I own you.
That was so funny. He's like legitimately like so funny in this. Like I was literally like cracking up. Yeah, because the guy like comes downstairs and he like wasn't saying stuff, and he was like, I literally own your house.
Yeah.
He was like, this is my house now. Like, also I love how his like initial debt was what, like 1,000 denali? Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
denali?
only 1,000.
And then next time they talk, it's literally $10,000.
Yeah.
He lost his house. Like,
Oh, that dude's having a bad day.
He said, pack.
it's gonna be a terrible week.
See, that's why I will watch this movie again. I gotta just watch the self-performance.
It's straight up like it's such a good time. Like I really had so much fun in the movie.
Yeah. And that scene where he's like in the whole senator's room, you know, and like that's where he takes command, man. Yeah, with the head.
That was crazy.
He like has complete control. You know,
he was like a little nuts in that scene. That's kind of like his Oscar scene to me because he's just like so commanding.
It might be that one. I'm like,
and that's the thing where I said earlier.
I think that's because it was like not like scary, but you were just like, oh my god.
Yeah. You're like, this man is
like he let it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He ran circles in that movie. That's the thing. Like
Okay,
his acting is so much better than everybody else.
He's just so much more charismatic.
Yeah.
And
so
like
cool. the way
that this, oh my god, the swagger was too clean.
Man, bro. The way he walks, I'm like,
there were like aunties on my screening, and I could just hear them like all around the theater. People were like, oh my god, someone in my theater was just like you think they would like people would do this for Paul, but like no, like they were doing it for Denzel. They were just like, wow, like he looks so good, and I just like heard it like around my theater.
He looks so good.
So good. Yeah, it was so funny. They were like, he looks so good. Like he looks so good. And like it was so funny. But his character is just too funny. Also though, when he takes over like with the senators, the guy that's in debt to him was always the first to raise his hand.
He's like,
or like the first to clap. And I was like, this is literally like so funny. I was like, why are you standing up? Like
he's like, I'm gonna keep my home.
Yeah.
He owns me.
He was so funny. I was like, the way that scene I think was like, I don't know, that scene's like too good because it's just like there's a lot to, like the monkey in the chair, like it's like comedy, but it's not. It's not. It's too good.
Shall we do hands or ballots?
Yeah, he just went on a spree, man. It was like, boom, the one brother died. Then he like killed the other brother, and then he kills Lucille, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's just
crazy. I was so heartbroken. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I kind of knew she was going down, but
I knew she was going, but I'm like an emotional person. I was like, oh no.
Now the fight between him and Lucius.
It was good.
Oh, that was good. That build up was too good too. I think like
I don't know,
the armies and the two armies.
Oh
it was
my
great.
god. I thought that was amazing. And then the like guys just not knowing what to do. They were like, oh.
Right, they were like, we're just gonna watch. Let them duke it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just too good. Also, like this movie was kind of fun to see all the like trailer shots in context. Because I feel like it was just like the fight between Lucius and the general. Like the context of that was like crazy. Like everything else, I was just like, oh wow, I just wasn't expecting it. So I just thought it was like so fascinating.
That was a gut wrenching death. I did not want him to die.
I did not want him to die. I was like, he's gonna get saved. Like it was like the army got the message and they're coming.
Yeah, and then
seriously,
got all those arrows, man. That was
so many arrows. And then the emperor was like shocked that people like loved the guy, even though it was obvious that everyone loved the guy. They were like, oh, what do we do?
Like, you literally just killed your general that conquered, like, walked in on a chariot and conquered, like, lands for you.
Yeah.
from Rome.
That's how stupid they are. I'm like, they were trying to hang. What's her name? Lucille. They were trying to hang her.
Well, at first,
and then
they
he was
didn't
like,
want to like. Well, at first,
Denzel
they
was
wanted to
like-
crucify both of them, and
Mhm.
he was like, "You can't
Denzel
do
like-
that."
come
So
on,
we gotta
on.
lock it in here.
Yeah.
can't do that. Can't do that.
He was like, I'll reason with him. He reasoned with him, all right.
No, literally.
He knew what he was doing the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah. He like was
Calculated.
too charismatic though. I was still like eating it up. I was still laughing. Like
He was so likable. Ugh.
the movie was like kind of really funny, but in a way that like
What?
only
Yeah,
Denzel
comedy, yeah.
could be funny. Like yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the way that he it's the way that he speaks, the way that
It's
he
his
takes
delivery.
Yes, his delivery. Thank you. His
Mhm.
delivery. It's like, that wasn't written like that, but because he's a good actor and he's like, okay, I
Yeah.
know how I want to play this role. He delivers words a certain way, and it's just so good. It's just so good.
I was like eating it up.
Oh,
I was truly eating it up.
that guy. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was
See
going to
my
retire.
Oscars.
I thought
Yeah.
he was going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
He
I got
said that,
scared.
but then didn't he just announce like 20 projects?
Yeah.
Like, the other
said-
He
day?
saw the response. He was like, hold on.
And then he said, and then he clarified.
Yeah.
He's like, let me clarify. I'm not retiring, but I'm just picking my projects differently. I'm like, all right.
I
And he's
was
like,
have you
but
not
I'm
been
doing.
doing that?
He's like, but I'm doing Equalizer 4 and 5.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that
Like, of
man.
course.
I love Denzel.
I did think for a moment that they were gonna have a Russell Crowe cameo, like in
Did.
Heaven,
Yes.
or like he was. I thought that last time that Lucille, like the black and white where he's underwater. That
Yeah.
last time towards the end of the film where he popped up, I thought he was gonna come face to face with Russell Crowe right there, but it didn't happen.
Oh, I thought he was gonna pop up and see like his mom and Russell Crowe like in the distance.
yeah.
As
Okay.
like she made it, like because
Yeah.
I thought that she was gonna get her like own Elysium scene with him, but then I was like that doesn't make sense. It's like
We did see his
gameplay,
hand
but-
though. We saw Russell Crowe's hand at the end.
Was it his hand or was it
I
the
think it was
actor's
his
hand?
I think it was his hand.
I think it was supposed to be his hand.
What was his
but-
actual hand?
Yeah.
They didn't say, Russell Crowe, come in and we're gonna film your hand going on these these leaves for a second.
I tried when the movie ended. I was looking at the credits trying to find him. Like Russell Crowe.
Right.
No, didn't see it. So
Yeah.
I mean, knowing Ridley, he might have said, "Hey, come on in here for like 2 seconds and let me get a picture of your
Yeah.
hand."
Let me fly you to Malta. Isn't that where they shot?
Oh man.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts on Gladiator 2?
I don't think I have any. I just really want this to like win for production design.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I remember. I think I texted one of my friends today, and as a joke, I was like, "Paul Mescal was the lead," but I was like, "This was Denzel Washington's film." Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I do think that was a disappointment, and this is why like I texted you and I told you I gotta watch Paul and other
Yeah.
stuff because I was expecting more because people have been speaking highly of him, and I just expected more, but I didn't think he was given enough to
It was
do.
the script. He did well.
I think
Yeah.
it was definitely like the script because they didn't give him enough.
Yeah.
And then I feel like a lot of his really good scenes were like he's really good in the film,
Yeah, he is.
but his character just wasn't like given
No.
It's flat.
the
Very flat.
charisma.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he wasn't like set up to succeed. I
Right.
think compared
Yep.
to like the General
Yes.
and Denzel's character because they all
Yep.
had like they were kind of like rounded characters because you were like I understand why they're doing this, I see it, yeah. And then the General had those like he was the General but he like literally hated the emperors,
Right.
so like he had
Yeah.
that,
He had a purpose, yeah.
yeah. And he did like a lot of subtle things, and then Paul he just didn't have enough, I don't think.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think he
because
did.
the way they like wrote the characters, I was like, why are the other guys like cooler? I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think he's good. I've seen him in a lot of things. I've seen him in Normal People.
Yeah.
Your Son destroyed me.
Okay.
I was not expecting that. And then All the Strangers, he's like really good at all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's really good in this too. He just wasn't. I think the script just really let him down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what will be next for him. I think actually there was something.
No, he just finished filming something.
Yeah, I'm about to say something was just announced. I thought I saw with his name on it.
Yeah, he's in that movie with it's like, let me go on his IMDb.
I do think it was good for him to be on a movie like this, even though he does. I mean, all actors need to grow, but he's on a movie with Denzel, like.
Also, like this was like it was like so different from everything else I've seen him in. So I was like,
yeah,
I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. But I was also just like, this is so good.
Yep.
Like he's like so good in the film. So
him and Ridley are doing another movie.
Okay.
Is it The History of Sound or which one? Because I know he just did Hamnet with Jesse Buckley.
It's called Dog Stars, and it's based on a 2012 novel, which is a post-apocalyptic story about a man living alone in an airplane hangar in Colorado with his dog and another companion after a pandemic has ravaged the Earth's population, only for them to venture out once they hear a strange transmission come through on the radio of his old Kessna. Interesting. Yeah, the guy who wrote The Revenant, Twisters, and The Boys in the Boat is adapting the screenplay. Solid.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I'll be looking forward to
Should be
that.
fun though.
Yeah, I think that should be good.
I'll eat it up.
Oh yeah.
Actually, we'll see. It looks good. It sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. Jared, any last thoughts? You got anything?
It is a worthy sequel. I'll say that much. It's a worthy sequel.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I would expected you to lead with that, but I like to hear that. It's cool.
Yeah,
All
worthy.
right.
It's a worthy sequel. Again, Ridley had a tough task here. Yeah. Do I think they could have left Gladiator 1? Probably, but it's a worthy sequel. Sure. It's great acting. Denzel is, you're getting an amazing Denzel performance, so that alone should bring it to the movie, as it does any of his movies.
Yes.
But you get a really good story. Yeah, there's some misses in script, but overall, you get a really good story. You get a worthy sequel and successor to Gladiator 1, and it makes for a good watch. It makes for a good film session, doing both of those movies at the same time, and then just the breathtaking visuals. Again. That's why I a lot of times come to Ridley movies is to see the cinematography, see the production design, as you mentioned, to see all the visuals and the world that he builds. That's a big reason why I go see a Ridley movie. So, and those are all very good in this film. So,
it's a visual medium. So,
exactly,
100%.
Yep,
it's just like a good time.
It is.
Yeah, you won't go away from the movie feeling disappointed.
Yeah. Well, you only feel disappointed if you come in and you're like, it needs to be better than the first,
right?
Or
Exactly.
If you set it up too high, you will be.
Yeah.
Done. But yeah, I agree. Gladiator 2 is definitely something people need to go see. Go experience it in the theater, because that's a perfect example of a movie that is, it's made for the theater. You go see it and you experience it on a different level. The sound, the screen, it's worth it. It is worth it.
Just watching it in a crowd, it's like you got to do it.
Yes, you've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there's been such good theater movies this year.
Yes, there's a lot.
With the crowd.
There's a lot.
Challengers with the crowd. How's your experience?
Yes, Challengers with the crowd. Oh, Challengers with the crowd.
Yeah. A lot of good ones. With the with the Catholic crowd, that was amazing.
Okay, that's on my list. Me and Jared was talking about that actually last night. Conclave.
I saw Conclave. I went to a 4:00 showing. I was like, that many people shouldn't be in here. But then I forgot that older people were
All
in
the
there.
old heads, the OGs.
So I was like the youngest person in there by at least like 15 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And the movie is so good. And it's like there were like gaps like in my theater. Like literally like it was like equivalent to watching Challengers with people.
Yeah.
Like on the same level with like theater experience. There's this one moment and I was like, oh my God. And I accidentally like looked at the person next to me, but she looked right at me. So we like looked at each other in shock for like 5 seconds and we were just like, can you believe? Like it was so funny.
I might have to go see this. We might have to go see this next week.
You gotta catch it with like the Catholic crowd. So like maybe like I think that really enhances the experience. just to hear their reactions. I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah. I would like you gotta go hit this with like at least the over 45, I think. Like you gotta like make sure there's at least like 5.
The matinee folk.
Yeah. You gotta do it.
Senior discount.
Yeah. Maybe go at like 4 o'clock on a Sunday. Like, maybe they'll be in there. Post mass movie.
Wow, that's so funny, but it is. Okay. Also, before I wrap this up, Denzel's got another movie. Not this year, obviously. It says TBA, but it's a movie with Spike Lee.
Okay.
It's called High and Low, and it's an English language remake of the 1963 Japanese film. And that one was about a story of a board member for a Japanese company who was forced to make a decision between using a vast amount of wealth to gain executive control and helping his employee by lending him the money to free his child from kidnappers. Ooh. Ooh. All right. I'm into that. That feels like what's that movie with Spike directed it with Denzel. I can't remember what the movie's called, but it's also like a heist thriller type movie. I don't see it, and I don't feel like.
You know what Denzel's doing soon as well? He's doing Othello on Broadway.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna buy tickets, and then I looked at those prices, and I was like, "That's."
I would love to see Denzel on stage. The price? That would be amazing.
The price was so high, I forgot about it.
I bet.
It was like
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, because I go to a lot of plays. Because my older brother lives in New York, so sometimes I'll just call him like I'm coming, and just to see a couple shows. Yeah. So I have like a Today Tix account, so sometimes get the like early access.
You might want a Tony for that.
I think he's gonna want a Tony, but I looked at the pricing, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And then I looked back like the next day, and I was like, after it went on sale, and I was like, this is nuts.
Okay, I'm going to. Oh no, you kidding? Wow.
How much? How much? What's the damage?
1044.
Oh my gosh!
That's the cheapest ticket.
It's gone up 500 since I looked.
Oh, this is for February 26th. Oh, and it's just 2 seats, and they're selling it for 1044. Insane! Oh my gosh!
That's the thing, though. That's a once in a lifetime performance watch.
Exactly.
You know what
I think he was just on stage a couple years ago, wasn't he?
He might have been.
Othello,
I think he likes the stage. Yeah, that's like iconic. Oh, I just
next level.
Yeah,
I see some for 200.
I see the one for 152.
Trip to New York, Mike.
Othello.
Maybe I'll go.
When is this? I'd be so jealous.
February.
I think it's next year. Yeah, it's next year.
Yeah, I love some theater tickets. I really do.
Denzel and I love seeing that actors go to theater, go back to the theater.
I saw Jonathan Bailey on stage a couple years ago. That was pretty good.
Ooh,
yeah,
that was pretty good.
I actually just watched a video with Denzel saying you learn how to act on stage.
Yes, he was talking to a young actor. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell when actors like do stage work versus when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like like
Yep.
derogatorily like towards people that don't. You can tell.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. You're like, oh,
you're not a
It's a different
Sega.
level.
you're
It's
not
a
that
different
good.
level.
Yeah,
No,
that's
seriously.
also like Denzel and Gladiators are like some of his line deliveries are like, yeah, like this guy's a
Oh
this guy
yeah.
looks
He's
a
real.
theater.
Yeah, you're like, he's a real deal. He's
Yeah.
an act. He's the actor. You know.
Yeah. Well, Paul also just won Olivier, so like
Oh, for
he's
what?
also I don't remember, but it's I don't remember, but I think you can also tell that he's a theater actor in Gladiator as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I think he just
Yeah.
yeah
He has that presence.
That's
yeah
a
he had
presence.
that presence.
Also, another thing before I close out. Speaking of Denzel, the Washington family. His family is like fully in Hollywood now. It's incredible to see John David and Malcolm. Malcolm's new movie, The Piano Lesson, comes out Friday
Yeah,
on Netflix.
that was like a family affair.
Yeah, which is sick. Denzel was producing it, and then John was in it, obviously, and then Malcolm was directing it, which is dope.
Yeah,
I love it.
pretty sick.
The Washington family is here, so that's on Netflix if you want to check that out. Jared, Alyssa, thank you both for being on the Real Table today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate you both for carving out this night to record this podcast. Everybody else, go to the movies this weekend. There is no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse to not go to the movies this weekend. I feel like I've heard that tune all year. There's nothing out. There's plenty out. Just go do it. Just go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Just go watch Denzel.
Yeah, go watch Denzel, right? And then go get that large popcorn and go eat it all up because it's so freaking good, right? And then you're going to walk down the theater to the other hall and you're going to watch Wicked and you're going to enjoy it. Well, obviously, if you don't like musicals, you're probably not going to enjoy it, so don't go see it. But if you like musicals, then you go down to the hall, you're going to see Wicked and you're going to enjoy it, I hope. And then next week we have Moana 2, which I'm skeptical of. I'm really skeptical of Moana 2. Really skeptical of.
I don't know about
It was a
that.
Disney Plus series and they shifted it into a movie. So
Another
I
one
don't
where
know.
did we need it? Did we need it? I don't probably not.
No,
But-
we didn't. No, we didn't, unfortunately. Also, there's set photos of the live action Moana being filmed and Dwayne Rock Johnson with a wig on, and I want to scream. So
The kids will love it, Mike.
the kids will
Eat it up.
yeah, they're gonna eat it up. Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to the Real Table Podcast. I will talk to y'all real soon. Peace.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.